Hello, my name is Soko Paul Karsten. Welcome to the Enjoy Experience. These are a series of guided instructional exercises that provide you with deeper awareness and, if practiced regularly, deeper capacity for inner joy. I am sharing them with you because I have found them to be the most important tools in my daily practice on this journey of healing, joy, and self discovery. This podcast is entitled Awakening of the Senses. First, let me explain what this podcast is not about. One way of awakening the senses is to increase your capacity for experiencing each moment in terms of the sensations that you have when you listen, hear, see, feel, touch, smell, and the like. This is more what we were doing in podcast 1 or 2, where you are asked to, in each moment, accept whatever sensations you're feeling as being complete, breathe with those sensations, and move to the next moment of sensations that you experience with. We did this with a body scan and with your breathing, but you can also do it when you're eating food, when you're walking, when you're listening to music, and other approaches to life. This podcast is how do we connect the external object or sound that you hear or see with your internal source, with the internal center of your being. How do we develop and open up that channel so that connection is made? When that connection is discovered, there is more of a simultaneous experience of inside and outside having a shared experience of connection together. This is what I am calling here the awakening of the senses. So to do this, we need to first be able to identify and sit within our personal energetic center. That is the practice that we've been doing with several podcasts up until now. It requires this simultaneous expansion, contraction, and this full body experience of connecting with the earth and with your breath, and through that discovering the center of your activities, whether they are breathing or walking or other body activities in life. Last podcast called Endpoints, we also looked at a clenching form of Qigong in which by gripping your hands or your feet, you can also help to locate this energetic center as it connects with this external form of gripping with your hands or feet. In this case, we are going to extend that to the use of awareness of something in your environment that you can then have an instantaneous sense of connection with once you open this channel to your core. Another way of talking about this is to talk about embodied imagination. When you use your whole body to imagine something that maybe you previously have not felt that you had experienced. And we have done this several times in these podcasts where, for example, I imagine you to feel the sensations in the earth below your feet, or imagine breathing with all the cells of your body, or imagine again with breathing that you're extending the breath out to radiate into all of your environment and connecting with your environment that way. These, for many people, aren't part of their normal experience and their knowledge, and therefore it limits them from this more connected kind of sensations. But your imagination, by imagining in the beginning these experiences with your whole body, I hope that you begin to open up to the possibilities that exist that you have not been aware of before. And this opens you up to a more, to a deeper relationship with your environment and with others. Einstein is one of my favorite quotes. He suggested that imagination is greater than knowledge, because knowledge is limited to all we now understand, whereas imagination is not limited. It embraces everything in our cosmos that we will ever know or understand. And so in that sense, he felt that imagination was the way to access the possibilities that are beyond what our present belief systems consider to be our existence. And this, I think, is a particularly important capacity to have if you're a physicist, because exploring the quantum realm, which many physicists are doing now, is particularly to them counterintuitive given the knowledge base of our present world. So being able to be open to possibilities that you think aren't possible, which is a lot of what the quantum realm is about, is certainly almost a required feature of scientists at this point. All right, let's get to our exercise for today. So we can do this either sitting or standing. In the ideal world, this would be one of those exercises that you do at night, because I would like to use the natural environment, particularly the night sky, in order to assist with this. But if you do not have the situation where you can be looking up of a night sky, a clear sky where you can see stars, then a darkened room with a single light, like a pinpoint of light in that room, would also be another method you could use. A candle I do not recommend, because the flickering of the candle is an aspect that is a different form of connection than the one we are going to address today. We were looking today at how to connect with the core of the simplest experience of light. So let's now take and find a space where we can begin the exercise. As usual, we will begin with grounding, taking some time to really settle our spirit and our mind into our body and into the environment and into the moment. So whatever techniques you have for doing that, the ones we have practiced here are to scan through your body, particularly in a descending fashion, with awareness of and acceptance of each sensation that you feel, particularly down into your feet and the sensations you feel connecting with the earth. And with those sensations, breathing with those sensations. So as you stand or sit with your connection with the earth, you experience the inhalation and exhalation into that experience with an acceptance of those sensations as being complete in this moment. Also, we become aware of our posture in terms of it being in a grounded place centered over gravity, so extending from the top of your head upwards to the crown of the head, even as you anchor to the earth with a sensation in the base of your spine of connection. And then bringing in the breath so that you're really slowing your breath down, equalizing the inhale and the exhale, and experiencing the sensation of expansion and contraction, inhaling, exhaling throughout your whole body, down into your feet, into your hands, and into your environment, where your environment and you are also inhaling and exhaling. So all of these are the pointers we've had for getting settled, where you have a more unified experience of your body, your spirit, your mind, your breath being together. So let's take a couple of minutes now and do that kind of settling practice. As you put your awareness in your full body breathing and grounding with the earth, remember the simultaneous nature of the expansion and contraction that occurs with all of the activities in your body, and that it is possible to locate the central axis, the central hub of this expansive, contractive activity. And so seek now to ask your body the question of, where is this energetic center? As with my whole being, I am breathing in and out. Everything is breathing in and out. Where do I find the center of this? And you could even use a little of that clenching activity at the end points of the breath to help localize this center point. So begin to hold your being, hold as a good friend this connection with your center, and breathing in and out from that point. In the Creative Breath podcast, we emphasized the inhaling and the exhaling with all of your sensory experience with your environment, so that everything absorbs, inhales, gathers with you as you look out and feel your environment and the sensations behind you and in front of you and with your sight and other senses. And then as you exhale, you also feel the experience experience of everything radiating and glowing with that experience of exhalation, and actually practicing then as you get comfortable with this inhalation, exhalation, absorbing, radiating, gathering, giving away, these activities occurring simultaneously, that within your being you can feel both this acceptance of receiving the environment, absorbing and gathering, and at the same time you can feel the experience of radiating outward, expanding outward, and permeating your environment. So the ultimate goal of that exercise was to reach this capacity for experiencing this simultaneous activity of expansion, contraction in relation to the world around you, and particularly having this originate from your center, energetic center point that we have been working with as well through these podcasts. So we're going to take this practice now. You have had a few moments now to ground and to locate your center, and we are going to turn it to a particular external object, much like if you could imagine being a baby bird. There's anything that looks like it has the capacity for complete and utter openness and acceptance. It's a baby bird opening its mouth and looking up and completely opening its mouth as the mother bird or father bird comes in to provide nourishment and food to that little baby. So if you can imagine being that little creature that is completely opening, and literally open your mouth and have this experience as you look up at the sky of accepting and receiving whatever there is, and gaze up at a star. Choose any star in the heavens that you're drawn to, and feel the experience of, as you're breathing and grounded, opening up to your sight of that star, and simultaneously staying in your center and experiencing whatever sensations you feel in your core as you open up to that star. So you are looking to identify within your core or your center the experience, the sensations you have when you look up at the star. Do you discover some kind of connection, some kind of experience where there is a sharing or a meeting point of your core and the star, where they're like holding hands together, where they're connecting, where they are sharing the same vibration, the same spirit? So this is what you're asking your universe and your body to discover, this place that when you look outside of you at this star with this complete capacity as you can, complete as you can be, opening up to accept, staying grounded and staying in your center, and then noticing whatever relationship you can establish with that star as you breathe and look at the star. If you're not finding any particular connection or resonance in your center at this point, then simply breathe with the star. Inhale and exhale with that star. Find the place where you and the star are breathing together, and stay with that experience, as well as stay in your core where you are breathing and expanding and contracting from. And with this practice and staying grounded, you will begin to, over time, develop a deeper relationship with this star, where the connection will become more obvious with you and the star, as you and the star breathe together as you open your awareness literally into your core. It's like you open up your mouth like a little bird all the way down to the base of your belly. And that openness helps this channel of connecting outside to this inside energetic center. So we're going to leave it with that single practice for identifying something on the outside that you can also then find a resonance or connection with, or meeting point, like literally like the experience of holding hands or sharing a tone in singing. Look for that spot. And once you've identified this with a star and can breathe with the star and feel this sense of inside-outside connection, also move to other objects in your environment, a flower, a tree, a rock, a mountain. Start seeing if you can open up, I would say first with natural environment. This can be extended to everything in your environment, but I found that it's certainly easier to start with things that are in nature, in our original sort of sharing of experience, and do the same kind of breathing with that object to where you find this place where the two of you are together, like dancing together in the same spot as you stay in your center and do this breathing as well as gazing out and maintaining your ground. Those are the key points. And with practice, I think you will find that this relationship will become deeper and deeper. And once you're comfortable with doing it with stars and flowers, then maybe you could even extend it to people. All right. The other aspect that I want us to look at is with the experience of sound. So let's take a moment and take a little break, and then we're going to come back to this podcast and do the same kind of experience with sound. We are now going to explore this connection of the external experience with your internal being with the capacity for hearing sound. So again, staying in this grounded, centered place, we are going to introduce a sound that as you listen, I want you to listen from your inner core, from this center of your energetic being in hearing the sound. And thus, as you open up again, like the baby bird, to the experience of receiving, also be aware of the sensations you experience in your core and accept them completely when you hear the sound. So as with the star, with the pinpoint of light, we're going to use the simplest of sounds to awaken this activity, to begin this activity. So please, at this time, find your ground. Breathe with your whole being, locating your energetic center. Feel the experience of openness and acceptance and receiving of your breath and your environment and your being, simultaneously connecting, radiating, extending outward into your experience, into the world around you. how do you experience this sound in your core? Do you feel some resonance or connection? Simply by discovering and accepting the sensations you feel the center of your being with this experience, finding the place where you meet this experience, it will help you both to pinpoint your core, but also to find the place where you and the sound are together. So, obviously, starting with a drum beat or some kind of beat like I gave you here is the simplest way to awaken your personal relationship with sound at your core and find how they instantaneously, simultaneously meet you and what could be perceived as an outer sound have an inner resonance. So again, staying with your ground, staying with your breathing, sitting in your listening from this core to the sound of crickets, the sound of music, the sound of a roaring engine, sound of thunder, the sound of a voice, and also, as we've done previously, you can begin to help this connection by manifesting your own sound from this core of yours. So simple vowel sounds are a good place to begin, like or or these help cultivate this relationship of inside and outside, along with the sounds that appear directly to you. So this is the podcast for today. You can also practice this with the sensations of the touch. When you feel someone or a touch on the outside, feeling simultaneously that same touch in your core. When you smell something, smelling it on the outside and on the inside. The primary senses of sight and sound or listening and seeing are the ones we worked with today. Our next podcast, we will explore what some cultures believe is the sixth sense, though in Western culture we don't often think of it that way, but the experience of thought, of mind, of how we can find this connection, particularly with language. So we will look at the use of words and how this can connect our core with our experiences. Until then, I wish you the best. Please practice your gazing of stars. As you can tell, The universe is providing us with a rainstorm here to go out on. So take care, and till next time, goodbye.